everybody. Welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. I'm Kathy Ondas. Thank you for joining me for Friday Fun at 1 today. Today's October the 14th, 2022. And we're going to do something a little different today. I had something completely planned. And then just about an hour and a half ago, I received an order that I had ordered from Stampin' Up, and it's a whole new bundle. It is called, and I'm going to have to look at that because it's the Florets Bundle. It came out for demonstrators on October the 1st. It will be available to customers on November 1st. And when I opened this bundle, I was so excited about it and some of the possibilities that I thought, well, we're just going to create on the spur today. So I hope you're okay with that. I don't know what we're going to create. I have some paper cut. I did that very quickly, just my layers, and we're going to kind of go from there. So I appreciate you putting up with that. This is something I rarely ever do because I like things planned and to be able to do the best I can when I'm demonstrating to you. But today I think we'll have some fun. So I am going to turn the camera over and I want to show you what this whole collection looks like. So. Okay, hopefully you can see my desktop and you can hear me well. If you are with me live, please leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from and let me know if you have any trouble hearing or seeing. I know there are some shadows and unfortunately I can't control that. I have a ton of lights on here, but I have a lot of bright light coming through my front window. And I've closed the blinds to try to cut down on that, but I think this is probably the best I'm going to get it. But I think you'll be able to see me okay. So this new collection is available starting to customers November 1st, but it consists of 2 stamp sets. Now and I see that you have some glare there. It consists of the framed florets and what's called framed and festive. Rarely do we ever get 2 stamp sets with this. It also comes with a set of dies, and I took those out and put them on a sheet for you so that you can see them. But you have all of these beautiful dies that will cut the floral. You have some extra dies with detail for leaves, and you have these beautiful frames. So in looking at them, I think we're going to use this frame today. This is be the very first time I've ever used this set. So we're going to go with that. Maybe we'll cut this out, and we'll just kind of go from there. Now, this will be available to customers, like I said, November 1st. But this part of the set, this framed and festive, and as you can see, a lot of holiday greetings on there. Merry Christmas, 'tis the season. May the season be filled with peace and joy. This is only going to be available to the end of the year while supplies last. The framed florets and the dies will be in the new mini catalog coming out in January, but this will not. So that's the 2 stamp sets and the dies. It also comes with some beautiful paper, and I'm going to bring that in for you. This paper is called Fitting Florets. It's 12 by 12 designer series paper, and I'm going to hold it up for you to see. And the colors are very different than Stampin' Up. We don't get a lot of blues, and I love the blues. We've gotten a little more this year, but this is Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Evening Evergreen, Night and Navy, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. So I'm just going to show these to you. This is a beautiful gingham in Evening Evergreen. Just be gorgeous for Christmas. polished pink with some little small floral designs. This is Night of Navy and Balmy Blue. I love this one, the soft succulent, but if you watch me, you know that's one of my favorite colors of Stampin' Up. And this has like a leaf pattern. And then light, the polished pink with leaves and flowers. Now, if I turn this over, you have some really bold florals. And I believe some of these may cut out with the dies, but I've not, literally have had this an hour and a half, not tried it yet. Here's floral with Balmy Blue and Evening Evergreen. This is the one we're going to use today. I cut a quick layer of this just because I liked the berries and the Balmy Blue on Navy. Another floral. I love this one. Isn't that pretty? And then another great one for the holidays with the berries on the Evening Evergreen. Now, this paper will be available November 1st also, but I believe it is only available until the supplies last. So it's not going to be part of the bundle in the new catalog. And the last thing that you get are these are called gold adhesive back swirls. And we're going to see if we can use these today, but they're really pretty. They almost look like a button, but the top is like engraved in a swirl. Really beautiful. So with that said, let's get started and see what we can do. So I did choose the colors. I chose to do a Night of Navy for my background, or my card base. We're going to use Balmy Blue because this was the paper I chose. So there's my coordinating colors. So this is going to be just a regular card base. It is 5 1/4, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and fold this into the hill and just burnish it. I kind of flip my cards over because I feel like they lay a little flatter if I burnish them from both sides. And then I thought with the paper to do a layer somewhat like this would be pretty. So let's go ahead and we're going to adhere that with some multi-purpose glue. So, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do from there. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card base. I hope you all have something fun planned for this weekend. And either with family, friends, or even some crafting. I am going to be doing crafting, or at least watching and participating with a team event, or with the Creative 8 team, which is made up of 4 team leaders or independent Stampin' Up demonstrators. So that'll be tonight and tomorrow. So let's go ahead and adhere this. So the project I had planned for today, I'm going to push to Tuesday at 7 p.m. Now, the measurements, don't worry about, because I'm going to be honest with you, I cut these quick on the fly so that we could do something with them. I believe the first base is 4 by 5 1/4, the Balmy Blue, and then the paper, I cut 1/8 of an inch smaller, so I'd have a little less border. So let's set that off to the side, and I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white scrap. And I know I want to use this frame because I think it'd be really pretty running this way across the card. So let's see what we're going to use. I'm thinking this spray, this floral spray right here would be really pretty. And let's see, if I were to lay this here, and this was my frame, that might look very pretty right in the middle there. What do you think? So let's go for that. So I'm going to grab a block and we're going to pick this up. And and the images in looking at this off the top here, I think those would look pretty colored with our blends. So I know polished pink is going to be the flowers, and let's use soft succulent for the leaves. So since I'm going to use blends, we're going to use our Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'm going to reach in my drawer here and grab my piercing mat, simply because we're using a photopolymer stamp set. And with those, you get a much crisper, nicer stamped image if you stamp on a piercing mat and have some padding under that stamp. Now I want to make sure this is inked up well. If you wanted, you could use your Stamparatus if you have one, because then you could go back and restamp your image. And I can see that on one side here, part of my image is not covered well. So I'm just going to re-ink it on this one side. And then we're just going to stamp. I'm going to give it a good press. And I'm pretty happy with that image. That's pretty crisp and clear. So let's set that off to the side, and I'm going to let that dry for just a minute. I find that if I stamp and I let the image dry for a minute, I don't have much of a problem at all with any bleeding or outside the image or any running. I know I've had a couple people say to me, well, gee, when I use my Stampin' Blends, I find I get some bleeding outside the edge. I do a couple different things for that. I don't go right up to the edge if I can avoid it at all, because these are alcohol markers, and alcohol markers kind of spread as you use them. I'll go back over it if I need to once I'm done. So I think we're okay to start. So I'm going to use my dark polished pink, and I'm just going to come in here at the edges, and I want to highlight. That's where I want my darkest color. So I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of dark right around the center of the flower. And then I'm going to come in with my light polished pink and just kind of move out so that I blend what I've already put in there. I think these are so easy to color with, and you get such a beautiful image, and you can mix your colors. But I will admit it took me, when I started using them, just a little bit to learn some tips and tricks for using those. Now let's do the same with this one. Let's bring this in. So that's kind of a flower folded over. Now I'm not so sure, looking at it now, that I want to use just polished pink, because these three flowers on the end, the middle and the ends, look a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and I might have to turn around and grab some extra Stampin' Blends, because like I said, this wasn't planned. But let's go ahead and add some color to some of the leaves, and then maybe I'll know what I want to do for those center flowers. Maybe lavender would be pretty. Maybe even a light blue. I'm not sure. If you have any thoughts of what colors you think would go in there, put it in your chat. In the chat box, I'd love to see it, and then we'll pick our colors. So I'm just going to add some dark to my leaves. I kind of do this randomly. These don't have any highlighted or marks on them that for like shadows. So I just kind of add because I do want some color variation. And it doesn't really matter, I guess, where I put it. I tend to be a slow colorer. And then I'm going to come in here. That's part of a leaf. All right. Now I am going to go reach behind me, and I'm going to grab another color here. So I'll be right back with you. I'm going to grab some Evening Evergreen, and let's grab some, let's go with some yellow. We're going to go with some soft saffron. So I'm going to try some soft saffron in here, and we're going to go with Evening Evergreen. So I'm going to start off with my Evening Evergreen, just adding a little bit for some shadowing. And let's come back in with this. This is my light. And I'm just going to fill in some of this color. I'm going to stick with the soft succulent and the Evening Evergreen. Just really more because I don't want to add too much color to this because of the paper. I like to stay within the colors that are in the designer series paper. All right, let's go back to here, and I'm going to go in with the soft succulent again. And this one is the dark. I'm going to switch now over to the light, and we're just going to give some color to these little branches or little leaves here from the greenery. Okay, I think we're about good except for our flowers. So I think I've gotten all the greenery here. Let's give that a little touch up. Let's go with, I don't know, what would be Christmassy looking? Maybe our sweet sorbet. Let's see how that might look with this. I'm not real sure, but we're going to try it. I'm going to go with my darker color here. And then I'm going to come in with the light sweet sorbet. Whoops, dropping things here. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and help me grow my channel. And then if you hit that little bell right next to it, you'll get notified when a new video is posted or I'm going live. And please always feel free to share my videos. I love if it can help someone else to just inspire them or give you some ideas of what to do with your crafting. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We're going to stop with the coloring, and I'm going to move those off to the side, except for right here where I need to finish those up. Okay. And just for the centers, I brought in some dark soft saffron, and we're just going to add a dot of yellow. All right, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to move this off. And we have a couple options here. One, we could cut this out just like that and put this on. Or I could cut the frame out and then pop this up, which I think is what I'm going to do. So let's cut this out. And I'm going to get that ready, and we're just going to cut these out all at once. So I'm going to pull in my tape that I use to kind of hold this in place. And then I'm going to grab another piece of basic white that I have here. And we're going to run this through. Okay. So I am going to turn around quickly, and I have my cut and emboss machine right behind me, and run these through, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so we now have one of the frames, and here it is. And then you have all these little parts to kind of push out. And I'm just going to use my little brush here that's part of my pick tool and see if I can get those out pretty easily. So let's do that. And they do come out pretty well, as you can see. When you get the brush part of the pick tool, you also get the two sponge pads, and they're great for catching those little pieces so that you don't have them all over the place. And it just kind of keeps them in one place, and then you can throw them away. So that looks pretty good. So there's that. And then when you cut it out, you also get this frame. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think I want to use it like it is. And again, we're using this for the first time. So let's see here. Let's take our flowers. And we're going to pop those up. Now we could also, on this, stamp our greeting. And one of the ones that I think might be good for this is So Lucky to Call You Friend. Where is that one? Here we are. So lucky to call you friend. And maybe to stamp that down below here. And then add this up above. So let's just see. Let's see what happens. I really want to use this double piece. And I think what we're gonna do is glue this down, and then I'm gonna pop this up in the middle. And let's just see how it looks. Again, we're creating on the fly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use my multi-purpose glue. I'm just gonna do some dabs around the edge. And then make sure I get my ends well. And you can take this right around the edge on the outside. And then I want to get this right in the middle. Bring it down just a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, and then what we're going to do is use this and pop that up. So let's go ahead and adhere our flowers. Now, since I'm going to pop up this circle, I'm not going to pop my flowers up. I'm just going to go ahead and glue those down. And even before gluing those down, let's add some ribbon. I have some polished pink ribbon here that might be pretty running right through the center. So let's adhere that, and we're going to use our Stamp and Seal Plus for that. So I've got that here, and let's just cut a piece off. The polished pink is what matches on our paper. So that should be a nice contrast. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere one end here over the Stamp and Seal, and then run it right through the center and attach that to the other Stamp and Seal on the other side and trim this off. Okay, now let's try putting our flowers, which still have the glue on them. I'm just going to run that right through the center. All right, and add just a little bit more glue here, or even a glue dot would work. So we have that, and then I want to stamp my greeting. And it was sitting here with me, and it kind of moved with the ribbon. So this is our greeting, so lucky to call you friend. And let's see if that's going to fit, because it probably, I should have stamped it before, but I think that's going to work pretty well. So let's go ahead and we're going to mount that on a block. And I'm going to use the same block that I did for this, and that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to pick it up. And I'm going to stamp this in Tuxedo Black Memento. And then I'm just going to center that bottom right there. And there's our greeting. So let's pop this up now in the front, and we're going to use our Stampin' Dimensionals for that. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals here, and let's put these on. I'm going to make sure I have plenty in the center, because if you send this through the mail, you want it to withstand going through the machine at the post office. All right. And then let's stick one right here in the middle. And we'll pull these off. Okay, let's turn this over, and we're going to put it right in here, right within the frame. And just give it a good press. Okay, I like that. And let's use our, bring in these little gold-backed swirls, they're called, and add some of those. These will pick up pretty easy if you use your putty edge of your pick tool, or usually they do. Let's just see here. Well, not today they aren't, so let's go ahead and we're just going to put them down. I'm going to use my tip. Let's put one here. And I'm going to pick up another one. And this one, the back came off. So if that happens, just put it right back on. It goes on very easily. And then we'll pick up one more. I like to do threes. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so there's the outside of our card using the frames. And now all we need to do is the inside. So I'm going to grab another piece of basic white here. And we're going to stamp. It has "So Lucky to Call You Friend." I'm just going to go ahead and do the other one that says, just a little reminder that you're loved. So I'm going to line this up on my grid paper, because that way I know it's straight. And we're going to stamp the inside. And for some reason that doesn't look straight. So let's pick that up again. And I'm going to clean it off, because I don't want to get that ink on my fingers or on the outside of the card. Line that up again. And it's sticking to my fingers. That's why it's moving. All right, let's go with that. And I'm going to bring in my piece of basic white for the inside, and just go ahead and I don't like that. Let's restamp that. And for some reason this does not appear straight, but I'm going to go with it. All right, let's see. Okay. And then we could add a little spray of the flowers if we wanted to, or we could add an edge of the Designer Series paper. So let's do that. I'm going to pull in my trimmer, and I'm going to pull in a piece of the Designer Series paper. And let's move this out of the way. And we're going to cut a 3/8 inch strip of this paper, designer paper, and then we're going to use that as an edge for the inside of our card. And it needs to be cut at 5 1/2, so we can go ahead and do that. And we're just going to use our multi-purpose glue to adhere this. Now this is cut just a fraction of an inch longer, and I'll trim it off at the end. Okay, I do have a pair of scissors that I keep to use for cutting dimensionals or trimming paper like this once it has glue on it. And I also want to trim this end off right here. And now we're ready to glue it down. Always remember you have 2 sides to your paper. We all make mistakes, and if you do, just flip it over. Kind of even that out. And I think we're good. So here's our card on the fly using that new bundle. So quick and easy if you have planned what you're going to do, but a really pretty bundle. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. Again, it wasn't planned. We just kind of did it happenstance. But I like the way it turned out. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And again, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share. And I will be back with you on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and stay safe.